We are live, family. All praise is due to Allah. Welcome back, family. In our last session, family, we uncovered something very, very, very critical. Okay? We talked about how systems shape our lives. We talked about how systems shape our lives. How invisible structures and social systems control our choices. They control our opportunities, even our sense of identity. Okay? My name is Brother Yahya. For those of you who have never seen any of our Buried in a Shallow Grave podcasts, I thank you for tuning in. Be sure, if you like this video and you see the direction that I'm trying to go in and you want to support, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments. You can ask questions. You can leave statements. Your opinion matters and facts matter. So all praise is due to Allah. We exposed the way those systems yesterday were built to keep us reactive. Okay? Fighting for scraps, family, instead of creating our own space. But I told you then, and I tell you now, knowledge is not enough. Awareness is not enough. You must now ask, what do I do with this kind of understanding? How do I rise above these systems and begin building something that's truly my own? That's a wonderful question. And if that's your question, that's where today's conversation is going. Okay? So thank you, family. If you like what you heard so far, before we dive in, please be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. The 4 pillars of self-built economy. The 4 pillars of self-built economy. Thank you for tuning in, family. We are grateful to have you, and it's a blessing to even entertain anyone online. Okay? Now, this smooth little recap we're going to do is going to remind them of the bigger journey you are leading. There's a bigger journey. There's a purpose to what you want to do. Okay? And that's how a system is built, because you have to know where you want to go to establish tactics to get there. Right? Okay. All right, family. So, what we're about to do is dive right into, we're going to recap on a little bit of how systems are built, because for those of you who weren't here, I want to make sure that you get that. There are 4 living principles every resurrected people must use to build their own system. Must use to build their own system. Number 1, coordinate effort, or you could say coordinated effort. Number two, trust. Trust. This is the core values to any good system, any good business, any good commerce that you want to get to sell one day. Number three, permission. Permission. Some of you probably like, why? We'll get to it in a minute. But let me name them all first so that we have all of these pillars. Okay. And four, sharing ideas. We must cross-pollinate ideas. One of the detriments in our community is that we believe that if we hide our hand, that we preserve and protect the value of our industry. That, my friend, is not the truth at all. The more you hide your hand, the less opportunity you have for anyone to benefit from your message, for you to benefit from your message and the hard work that you put in to creating the message or the product. And it starts taking you through these tunnels that you really don't want to go down. So the two engines that we need to run on in our system creation is generosity and art. Why? We'll get to that, family, I promise. I want to touch on it now, but I don't want to mess up the food that I got for you in store, family. We have to challenge, family, the myths of fitting in. We have to challenge the system in a sense that what we see is the best that we can get. And anything created is less than the system that exists. If you really want to be an earth mover and an earth shaker in anything, you have to think outside the box. You have to believe in what you do so much that you spark ideas that no one has ever thought about. Critical thinking. Critical thinking, family. We don't have to stay small-minded. We must build our own systems. We already know that now. So we must build systems that are needed and have value. And there are so many things in the black community that is needed that must have value if it's going to be lasting. If it's going to be real lasting. Okay? And if you missed our last session, I encourage you, family, to go back and watch it. It lays out the foundation for everything we discussed today. Together, these two sessions are they form a blueprint, not just for survival or a survival kit, but for resurrection. And this is not about you joining my system. It's about you awakening to the system you're capable of creating for yourself. The tools are in your hands now. And the question is, family, what will you build? What will you build? Our market is thriving. It's thirsty for real economics. And, since our community is thriving for real economics, you must ask the question, what kind of economics could I bring to the table? And since our community family is thriving for real economics, what kind of economics would be empowering? You got to start asking these questions. What kind of economics can we bring to the table? Not what's trending, not what someone else is doing, not following some trend, but you, your gifts, your talent, your skills, your insight, your lived lifestyle, your experience. Because family resurrection is not a spectator sport. This is a hands-on project. It's not about joining on with someone else and their movement. It's about becoming the architect of your own movement and connecting the dots where they need to be connected. Okay? And you've been handed, a real blueprint this evening. I touched on a lot. It was very fast because I have a lot of other things going on today, and I'm not going to be able to spend as much time with you as I would like, but you have been handed a blueprint tonight, this evening. The question for you is no longer, what if? You know you want to build a system. Now it's time for you to figure out what kind of system you want to build. You know what a system is. You know what system exists. And we're not being copycats. Right? We may take the knowledge that we understand and know from others, but we build on the account that we're original in what we do. That what we do has never been done before. See, I could get on here and tell you to go and be like somebody else. I could tell you to pattern your business after, and it probably would benefit you. But why waste my time? When I believe that there's something in you that you might not even see yourself right now. And, I'll just give you an example. Some of you, personally, I have seen, you're really, really good at doing hair. Really, really good. And you hustle every day to do these, 100 heads, 200 heads. I don't know how many hairs you have to do. I'm not in the barber business. But however many it is, you do those, and some of you know that that's all that you have. And you know how much you'll make at the end of the month, at the end of the year, quarterly. But I just want you to know, every day you have the opportunity to build on what you're already doing. And just by you doing that, there are so many doors that you can open for yourself. And I'm going to give you a couple of ideas just based off this example, a beautician or barber, okay? Because I know our community has a lot of those. And the thing is, everybody's already doing what you're doing. You understand? And that's the thing about business is you got to understand that if you want to stand out, you have to do something that sets you apart from those that are doing what you do. So you might, I remember back in the 80s, I don't even think they do this anymore. It's a little different now. I think it's like on this big, large flyer style poster. But back in the days, when you would go to a barbershop, you would see, a calendar that would be by the door or somewhere behind, the barber's seat. And sometimes you would see these calendars, and they would have these, phrases on them, that were, just to kind of give you something to look forward to. And I remember a lot of people, it caught the eye. And why not try to get you could create a calendar with your style that you do each week on every month of your calendar. It probably would take you about, a good 24 hours solid just to focus on that idea and make it become what it needs to become. And you could duplicate it and duplicate it, and now you have merch, you have product. And what is it doing? Why would you do that? Why would you create it? Well, people can keep up with the dates. You may leave a comment on, each date. Maybe something about Black history. Maybe something about how you got to where you are on each date. Maybe any value that you want to add to the calendar. But on each page, you have a different style of your cut, your beautician style that you put into your work. Now you're selling calendars. And you copyright those calendars, and you make it to where nobody else can steal your idea. So you've created value. And why? Because sometimes people need to hear a message, or people actually need calendars. There's so many different reasons why. And you just got to get out of the what if. You have to go into the what's needed and what will it take. Who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? What am I talking to them about? And what do I want to say in regards to who I am? Because people love a good story. And most of us have the ability to tell a good story, and we don't realize how great of a marketing tool we are to everything that we do. So, like I said, I'm almost at my turning point, but I just really wanted to touch bases with you again on. As I said from yesterday, we touched a lot of points. And I'm proud of what we've done. And so tomorrow, I'll probably go live 3 times tomorrow. One early in the morning, one in the evening, and one late that night. And then the following day, I won't be able to go live until after 1 o'clock. And then I'll start my lives. I'll probably do, one at about 2 o'clock, and I'll probably do the other one at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So, we exposed how systems shape behavior, training people to fit in, to stay small-minded, to remain dependent on structures that were never built for our liberation. We talked about that. And remember, awareness alone, family, is not enough. Knowledge on its own will not resurrect us. We must ask what comes next. Okay? What do I do with this understanding? Because we have to take what we want to do into what we're about to do and what we're doing. Okay? It's been an honor to talk to you once again, family. Don't forget the 4 pillars: coordinate or coordinated effort. We have to, no great movement, no thriving community, no lasting legacy was ever built by one person. And when you coordinate your gifts with those who are not only like-minded, but well equipped to fit the gaps, and provide a space for you to provide a need. That could be family, friends, neighbors. You multiply value. Your system grows stronger when your efforts are connected. Okay? And remember, we talked about trust. I'm going to go over it again. We're almost at my time. I'm going to keep going till I run out. Trust is the foundation, family. We have to build trust. Trust of, any economy worth building is a trust that people would love to give themselves to. Even here, family, you may know the person next to you, the person behind you, in front of you, and the trust that you have for them is because you're fellow travelers. You expect him to see you coming, and you're not going to knock him over. You're not going to stumble on his shoes and on his feet. So all of that is a big deal. It's a really big deal. Trust is a big deal. And because without it, nothing will grow. So this is your brother Yahya with another live episode of Buried in a Shallow Grave. I thank you once again for coming and visiting us and joining. And hopefully by the next live interview that we do, you will have rewatched this video. I will repurpose it. I'm going to put those free ebooks down. As you can see, I have my ebooks here to my right. And you can take a look at those later in the comment section, in the description bar. I'll leave them there. And you let me know if that book was worth reading. If you found problems that you may have in it and the solution to those problems in there. Please let me know if that book was trash and you want me to do something better. I would love to know both, because it'll only make me become a better writer and a better author and a deliverer of the truth that I say and try my best to represent. So thank you, family, for tuning in. This has been a great live, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.